Good morning, everybody. It is the 16th of April, 2020, the day after what should have been a tax day here in the United States, and one of the first days and the first week of the stimulus check race here in the States as people are checking their bank accounts to see if they got the direct deposit for the big Trump stakes that's going to help us get through the coronavirus. A lot of people seriously out of work, out of jobs, and some people running out of hope in some cases. And that's mostly what we're talking about today. Today's topic is dealing with what I call infinite possibilities and the fact that infinite possibilities do not have infinite timelines. It's going to go over two different stories I like to tell combined right now in a setting where we are. They just sort of match up together. It sort of works out that way. So that's what we're talking about today: infinite possibilities and the fact that infinite timelines do not do not exist. In fact, I actually did some homework today. Here are my notes. I'm not hard to read, one because they're very small and lightly written, and one because my handwriting is horrible. But I have my whole script scripted right here. So I can do the cool thing by putting it right there, the camera. And so hopefully today we'll do a better job of looking at you guys, looking at the camera, and make sure everything works out well until, of course, we don't. We'll see how well it works out. So if you want to help out the efforts and things we have going on here at jclevelandpayne.net and the projects, you can easily support the effort. You can visit patreon.com/jclevelandpayne, or you can also go to buymeacoffee.com/jclevelandpayne and become a patron and maybe help me out on a monthly basis if this is that worth that to you, or just every so often give me a cup of joe, keep me motivated, keep me hydrated. Although coffee's not so great for hydration, but it's water. It's there. So we're going to talk today about infinite possibilities and infinite timelines. So let's start with that, the infinite possibilities. I guess I'll call it my not quite a thesis, but my thought process on infinite possibilities. That is, each and every one of us are born with infinite possibilities. Each and every single one of us are born at a state where anything can happen. Now, I'm not going to go into you are the winner of the biggest race in your life by being born. That's been overdone. But literally, the fact that you are born, you now exist in the real world. And after about 10 minutes or so, you're cleaned up and your ears are squeezed out and you're crying and wrapped up and being held in someone's arms. At that point in time, you have all the possibilities to be anything in the world, but you also have very little motivation because you are only minutes old. The problem is pretty much that same moment when you have the infinite possibilities of anything in the universe happening for you, that's the exact time when those possibilities start being chopped down. They no longer become infinite. They become pretty finite, pretty defined. And you have absolutely nothing to do with it from that point. The biggest problem with the infinite possibilities is that other people start making decisions that affect you, and other people's directly affect you by being your parents, the people that what they are, what they do, where they go, and how they interact affects you as in your development. And oddly enough, the world around us, the conditions that are going on around us. If you're born in the middle of a serious issue like right now, if you're going to be one of those Rona babies that are born right now, you're going to be born out of a very serious situation that you won't remember, but will define your actions for life going forward. All the children that were born, I guess the big talk right now, children that are graduating from high school right about now in 2020, of course, were born about the time of 9/11. So they were born in a tragic time, and now they are living through a tragic time, a different type of tragedy going forward. So that's the oddity of your infinite possibilities. You get older, and then people tell you can do anything you want to do. You just put your mind to it and work hard, whatever. And that's not exactly true, because your life has been shaped up to a point to where you are. There are physical limitations, things that you cannot do. I, for the longest time, had this idea that I was going to play professional basketball And the only thing stopping me was being very short. Because I never stopped being very short, that limitation was never overcome. Skill, regardless, whatever. I wasn't going to play center in the professional basketball because I wasn't qualified physically to play center. It just was there. That was a possibility that was in my head possible on certain conditions. And as those conditions never made it, I had to shift to something else. But you are born with infinite possibilities. And other than the fact that your parents make decisions, and sometimes decisions made for them, how they got to be where they are. And then at some point in time, you start taking over and making decisions for yourself. Some of them are really minor, as you think, but as you get older and start actually taking control of your life, you have the control to have your own possibilities. And as long as you are within reason, within talent, and within the conditions, you still have plenty of possibilities. Infinite, maybe not, but possibilities are there. What you don't have are infinite timelines. You don't have the time for working towards those things, those procedures, those goals forever. And one of the weird things about dealing with our time right now with this coronavirus thing is that we are dealing with a choice that's a lot like the choices we were dealing with when we were born, when we were trying to get by and see, or at least we weren't getting by because we were babies, but as our parents were trying to do their best to guide us in a direction or set us up for the best thing possible. They were putting away money so that you can go to college, or setting aside programs so that you can go to good schools, or making sure you got into the best sports programs, best music programs, whatever, to set you up with all the knowledge that you could take in so they can use that going forward for something great. They were setting you up so that when you started taking your own decisions, making your own guidance to where you're going, you'd have a good base to work from. That's what they were doing. Or maybe they were horrible parents and didn't care much about you and were kind of upset that you showed up because you got in the way of their lifestyle. And that also helped affect how you progressed. Maybe you wanted to be better because of that. Maybe you thought it wasn't worth the effort for a while because of that. But you found your way to something like this. You obviously think that moving forward, doing better, personal development, and moving forward is something that you're looking for. How you deal with the situation with the virus is similar to everything that pops up as a choice. So right now, starting with coronavirus day 0, which was really about a month or so ago, you had infinite possibilities of how you're going to handle this. And a lot of people went to the positive, overly positive, in the way we do right now. There are a lot of Instagram moms who are thinking about crafts to do and how to show off, how they're engaging with their kids and all the great, beautiful things they have. Now that they had some extra time to do these things, and were able to do it. And it was a chance to show how creative they were, how inventive they were, how to get things done. And if you watched my videos for a while, you can remember I was not quite in that vein, but you can remember the video I made where I basically told you where I broke down essentially 2 weeks into this thing, when we thought that my daughter was going to be out of school for about a week, 2 weeks, a week of school, then spring break, then come back and try to get back to normal. And then before that first week was over, our governor said, no, they're out for the entire month. And I freaked out because I couldn't figure out what I was going to do with my daughter for 2 weeks after spring break. Come to find out, school's out for the year. We're just dealing with it. That's a whole nother ball of wax. But it's turned into a big thing where, the possibilities, oh, my daughter will come and hang out with me at work for a while and do her homework. She's done that literally since she was a baby. So that's no big deal. But it's not a snow day. And it's not a few days for vacation. It's not some gap time where mom can't keep up with her the rest of the time. This was months of time and me actually having to teach her something as opposed to just keep her busy for a couple hours. That's where the virus thing kind of first hit me. It also hits me on a normal, consistent basis at where I work, because I'm in charge of keeping people connected to our network, keeping people connected to work. And there's a lot of people who were not prepared for remote work and who are still, because they had no thought that didn't have to do this, don't have the capacity to do things because, oddly enough, the panic happened and everybody bought up all the bits and pieces that were simple and easy to use. So now there's a shortage of things to get people online, get people connected. So there's that. But in the grand scheme of things, the biggest things that really affected me virus wise and my possibilities is this thing here, my side gig stuff, my podcasting, my video stuff, my personal development, teaching and speaking stuff. Every so often, even though life has literally gotten in the way in various bad ways and times, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, which we all know is not as cheery as it is. And sometimes that light is just a train coming right at you. There was a great chance, some great opportunities for a big project that I was working on, that I've been working on for years, to actually go large, and had a lot of different chances for it to get some exposure on a local level to get a next jump to that. And it literally just crumbled in front of me as all the coverage went to coronavirus and nobody had time for anything on the side. So all the side hustle talk you hear from people about working in there and getting there and grinding and do stuff like that, when nobody has time for you, no one has time for you. And that's exactly what happened. So a lot of work I put into one of my projects, if you follow me, I've got plenty of kind of different things, just literally crumbled apart because I had literal commitments to do this thing with other people and to promote it, and it just got flushed, gone. Infinite possibilities without infinite timelines. So there's another story I tell that's about, essentially holding on. And this is a bit more grim, so bear with me, but it fits for this time. Because a lot of people, as soon as this virus hit and people started dealing with it and the governments started shutting things down, because the safest way to deal with this is to not do anything. There are a lot of people who are hurting, a lot of people who are suffering, a lot of people who are ready to make that big step, even bigger than mine. They don't have an actual job to go to now because they can't. Their dream, their idea, their thought was ready to go, and something as crazy as this has stopped it. This is the idea of treading water and trying to essentially stay focused, stay positive, stay in the game for your rescue, because this is a time where a lot of people need rescue. And if you're out in a ship and the ship goes down and you're stuck out in the ocean, you have nothing to reach for. There's basically nothing out there for you to hold on to. The thing you have to do to stay alive is not swim laps around the wreckage, because that takes a lot of energy and gets you tired really fast, but to tread water. Basically kick your feet back and forth as if you're walking, like you're taking a track, and you do some gentle whispers of the arms. You just basically keep yourself afloat, keep your head above water, keep yourself buoyant so that you can be seen, be found. And the thing about, they say in shipwrecks, because ships are out there by themselves, is that the longer you can tread water, the better your chances are of being rescued. Because if your ship goes down, there's probably not another ship immediately coming back behind you. They're not like cars. They don't just run back and forth. The shipping lanes are fairly busy. They just take a little bit of time for the next ship to get close enough to see. So the longer you can tread water, the longer you can keep your head above the water, the longer you can keep your strength so that you can keep out there and stay positive that someone's coming to come. Look at the signs, look out to see that the skies are clear, that you're fine there, the better your chance of getting a rescue. But right now, people are having troubles with treading water. It's really, really, really serious. There are storms gathering around. And so storms mean less visibility. And of course, it means a harder time of trying to stay afloat in a choppy sea. There are people who are set adrift in places where no one is expecting them to be. So no one is expecting to be nearby, and no one is actually looking for them. If no one's looking for the wreckage, then no one's expecting to look for what's out there. It's someone has to kind of stumble upon you. And if it's a place that no one's gone before, people have stepped out on faith to try a brand new thing, to step out and make their dreams come true, fulfill their destinies, do great things for people. And because they're out there in the middle of uncharted waters, their boat goes down, they're treading water, and no one can find them. You can't tread water forever, unfortunately. And that's the sad part of this. There are going to be people who aren't going to get out of this as well off as they started off, because when times of crisis happens, change happens. People who you didn't expect to make it through will find some way to boulder through and be better and be bolder and take things over. Yes, lots of great companies are started in recessions because of a need to fill. But a lot of great companies are taken down in recessions because needs are no longer needed and cannot no longer be filled. And they're basically just wasting time and energy trying to live up to past days, past technologies, past lives, when it's not worth the effort to even participate. Time goes on, things move forward, and unfortunately, some of us aren't going to be as good as we were when starting off. I've got a lot of projects that have been floating and circling around for a while that, unfortunately, because of timings, some of them may not get their revival that pops up every so often. Every so often, I get a great idea to bring something back in and pull it up and see if it's time for it to shine again. And this time, a lot of things are going down. In fact, to be honest, I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure how long I'm doing videos and chats like this, because I don't know where this is going. I'm not sure this is getting any traction. I'm not sure anybody is listening to what I'm saying now. So why am I still talking about it? I have been treading water for quite some time in my own dreams. And right now, I'm getting a little tired and I'm looking at the horizon. I'm seeing a storm coming towards me. I'm not seeing any ships anywhere nearby, any signs of anything. Maybe I see sharks someplace too, that who knows. But here's where this all comes down to. And this is not a way to bring you down, but this is the way to make sure that you know the reality of what's going on. There are a lot of people out there who, because of coronavirus related life, or because of life in general before and maybe coming after, who are or will be treading water. Infinite possibilities are long past. And so the chances where anything was possible is not possible. And so right now, they are just trying to stay afloat, stay alive, stay vibrant, stay active until something comes along for the rescue. Maybe they're closer to land than they thought they were, and they can kind of make their way towards land. Maybe there is a ship coming that was right behind them that's ready to go. Maybe people knew exactly where they were supposed to be, realized they didn't show up on time, and now someone is looking for them. There are people out there who are treading water and frantically trying to stay active, stay afloat, stay alive right now, and they could probably use your help. Or maybe you're the one who is treading water and you're the one who's trying to stay afloat and trying to stay active, trying to stay positive, and you know that you need someone's help. Give some help, ask for help. We are all in this thing together. And I know the PSAs are saying, stay home to stay together. What's going on? This is the weirdest tragedy we've ever had, or maybe not. I'm sure the Spanish flu, where people were avoiding people, was an issue then. But because we are such an interconnected people, interconnected world, and essentially all of our big touts in commerce and economics was based on being out there together, commingling, tossing dollars at each other, whatever. It's been a real strain on a lot of folks and a lot of people who are sitting at home with little to do, wondering when they'll get to do more stuff because they don't have a big fat bank account to sit on. They can't work from home so they can make any revenue. They're also trying to be homeschool parents to college kids and regular kids. And the stress is just way too much. It doesn't make any sense. I know you cannot tread water forever, but you can tread water for a whole lot longer than you think. You can keep up the strength for a whole lot longer than you believe. And it doesn't take that much effort. Treading water is literally taking the least amount of effort, actual treading water, taking the least amount of effort, least amount of energy to make sure that you are staying afloat. It's not swimming laps. It's not doing the backstroke. It's not being largely visible. It's staying afloat until you get a chance to see something to reach out to. I'm just as frustrated as everyone out there, and in fact, maybe more frustrated than many because I don't have a large platform and I don't have a mass amount of listeners, supporters, and followers who are just sort of aping on what I'm saying. And I think I'm saying things that are just as relevant as some of them. In fact, some of them seem like they're running out of content, and so they're getting a little antsy in what they're saying. That's because we're all treading water right now, waiting for that lifeline, which is not necessarily right now a savior, but just an end to the situation where we can go forward to something that's more stable. We're just looking for some land to stand on. We are all born with infinite possibilities, and when the possibilities arrive, when you see something out there that is available for you to take it, you need to take it. When your shot comes, take the shot. There are plenty of possibilities within reason, within rationality. Like I said, I cannot play NBA basketball. I can't play center for the NBA. That's never going to happen. But I can do plenty of other things that are within reason, including be a internet yakety yak talking star in videos, even if I don't have the mass amount of followers. But I too am also struggling because the opportunities, as they come up, doors open, doors close. A lot of doors got shut in a lot of people's faces lately. There are people who are doing their best to be creative about this, doing their best to keep things going, keep them active. And some people will find ways to come out of this brandishing great stuff on top. But some of us will not. In fact, some of us won't survive this on the up end. So what we need to make sure we're doing is looking out for each other. So if you are a ship that has some sort of buoyancy, if you're doing fairly well, and you see someone out there treading water, reach out and give them some help and get them assistance and get them on their way so that they can go out there and they can help more people out there. More of us are treading water right now than we need to be, but enough of us are doing just well enough that we can share some provisions, get some folks safe, and get this thing back going. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me ramble for a little bit of time. If this seems like something that is worthy of more love, please share this with some folks out there so more people can hear what's going on. The best way I can get support is to get more support. So more people listening, more people chatting, more people conversating. And of course, comments are always welcome. Email me at jclevelandpayne@gmail.com. You want to support the efforts? Very simple. Just check out the scroll below. It says visit patreon.com/jclevelandpayne or buymeacoffee.com/jclevelandpayne because coffee is really great these days. I'm glad to have what I have. I am blessed to have what I have, but I have to be honest. It's really, really scary. I'm sure it's scary for a lot of you out there. Need someone to talk to? Reach out. You can always talk. Trust me. I get interrupted with conversations that are just have a chat all the time. Most impressive part about this thing is these are my notes. Hit all the points, and I'm done. Thank you so much. I'm not sure when the next video will be, but I'm pretty sure I can tread water long enough so there will be a next video, and we'll see you then.